The reason you feel mentally sluggish and struggle to focus after switching tasks isn't burnout, it's a hidden cognitive tax. We'll show you the 3-step scientific system to eliminate attention residue and regain instant razor-sharp focus.
You know the feeling, right? You hang up from a tense client call, you immediately try to open a new document, and your mind is just blank. Or worse, it's not blank at all. It's still replaying bits of that last conversation, wondering what you should have said. Well, that mental fog, that frustrating feeling like you just can't get any traction, that is not a personal failure. It's a recognized cognitive cost, a very real tax our brains have to pay when we switch gears the wrong way. So, in this explainer, we are going to deconstruct this, get into the hard science behind why it happens, and give you a precise, actionable protocol to get rid of it for good.
So here's our roadmap. First, we're going to define this hidden cognitive tax. Then we'll explore the science of that mental drag, and then we'll walk through the 3-step protocol that's designed to solve it. After that, we'll unpack why it works so well. From there, we'll build your personal instant focus blueprint, and finally, we are going to totally reframe your approach to productivity by mastering the art of the clean transition. Okay, so let's define this tax. Every single time you switch from task A to task B without a clean break, you are not starting with a clean slate. You're carrying baggage. And this mental baggage is exactly what's draining your performance. The core problem is that these little neurological leftovers from the previous task, especially if it was incomplete, are sabotaging your focus on the new one. It's like trying to have a new conversation while someone is still whispering the old one in your ear. Your brain is split, your attention is divided, and your most important work is paying the price.
Now we're going to move from the feeling of it to the formal diagnosis. You know, this isn't just a metaphor, it's a measurable cognitive reality. For decades, scientists have been studying this invisible barrier to focus, and understanding what they found is the first step toward fixing it. Because once you can name the problem, you can stop blaming your character, thinking, I just can't focus today, and you can start fixing your process. And a process, that can always be improved.
The fancy scientific name for these mental leftovers is attention residue. And honestly, the best way to think about it is like this. You've closed the big, demanding program on your computer, but in the background, all these little processes are still running, eating up your machine's processing power and memory. That's exactly what's happening in your brain. These neurological remnants are just background processes that stay stubbornly active, competing for your precious cognitive resources, even after you've consciously decided to move on.
And all that attention residue? It has a very real, measurable cost. It's called the task switching penalty. Study after study shows that when we switch tasks, especially from something complex that we haven't finished, our performance on the next thing just plummets. We work a lot slower, we make more mistakes, and we feel that distinct mental fog. This penalty is the direct, totally predictable result of not giving our brain the psychological closure it needs to make a clean break. This slide just nails the core issue, doesn't it? It's all about resource drain. Your working memory, think of it as your brain's RAM, right? It's the mental space where you juggle information to get stuff done, and it is a strictly finite resource. When attention residue from task A is still active, it's like having 5 old projects spread all over your desk. So when you try to bring in task B, there's just not enough cognitive space left to work on it effectively. The whole system starts to lag, and you feel that as frustration and strain.
And this is absolutely crucial. You cannot solve this problem by just pushing harder. Trying to power through that mental fog is like revving your car's engine when you're stuck in the mud. You just spin your wheels, burn a ton of fuel, and dig yourself into an even deeper rut. The solution is not more willpower. It's not more effort. The solution is a better system. It's about implementing a structure that gives your brain the clear, explicit signal of closure that it is literally begging for.
So, what is that system? Let's introduce the protocol. And I use the word protocol on purpose. This isn't some vague tip or a flimsy productivity hack. This is a precise, 3-step process engineered to systematically shut down the old task on a neurological level, clear out your mental workspace, and prime your brain to attack the next priority with everything it's got. It's an elegant, structural solution to a very messy cognitive problem.
The protocol has 3 distinct phases. First up, closure. This is all about creating a hard, intentional boundary, like drawing a line in the sand for your brain, signaling that one chapter is officially over. Second, offload. This is where you externalize all those lingering thoughts from task A. You're basically giving your brain a receipt, proving the information is safely stored so it has permission to let go. And third, launch. This is the ignition sequence, a phase designed to rapidly accelerate your focus into the new task and build unstoppable momentum from the get-go.
Okay, so it's one thing to know the steps, but to really commit to them, you need to understand why they are so incredibly powerful. So let's peel back the curtain a bit and look at the cognitive science, the psychological mechanics that make this protocol so effective. Because understanding the why is what turns this from a technique you might try once into a system you actually live by.
So what's actually happening inside your brain when you go through these 3 simple steps? Why does creating a boundary, getting your thoughts out of your head, and then launching with intensity have such a dramatic impact on your focus? Well, the answer is that this protocol works with your brain's hardwired tendencies, not against them. It leverages these deep-seated psychological principles to your advantage. First and foremost, the protocol neutralizes something called the Zeigarnik Effect. This is a well-documented psychological thing where our brains have this powerful, almost obsessive tendency to remember unfinished tasks way better than completed ones. It's a survival mechanism, right? Your brain keeps incomplete tasks open so you don't forget them. It's why you can't stop thinking about that email you only half wrote. Well, the offload step is a direct hack for this effect. By writing down the specific next action for the old task, you're making a contract with your brain, saying, hey, this is not forgotten, it's captured, there's a plan, you can stand down. And your brain, now assured, finally lets go.
Second, by neutralizing that Zeigarnik effect, the protocol directly conserves your precious working memory. By doing the offload, you are actively clearing out all that mental clutter, the residue. This prevents cognitive overload and frees up your prefrontal cortex. That's the CEO of your brain, responsible for focus and planning. You're essentially giving the CEO a clean desk and a single-item agenda for the next block of time. This allows it to dedicate maximum resources to your new priority, which leads to higher quality thinking and much faster progress.
And finally, and this might be the most powerful part over the long term, this protocol is like a targeted workout for your brain. Each time you intentionally use the closure and launch steps, you are strengthening your prefrontal cortex's inhibitory control. That's just a fancy way of saying your brain's ability to actively suppress irrelevant thoughts. Think of it like building a muscle. Every clean transition is one successful rep. The more you practice this protocol, the better your brain gets at filtering out mental noise, making all your future task switches way less costly.
Okay, we've covered the what and the why. Now let's get to the how. This is the practical, actionable guide. The theory is great, but the results, they come from disciplined implementation. I'm going to give you 3 simple, non-negotiable steps you can use the very next time you switch tasks to feel the effects of this thing immediately.
Here is your blueprint. It's a simple 2-part statement to create that hard mental boundary, a fast 2-minute ritual to clear your mind, and a powerful 5-minute sprint to dive straight into deep focus. These steps are super specific for a reason. They're designed to be easy to do in the moment with no decision-making required, but they are incredibly powerful when you add them up.
Step 1. The 2-part closure statement. Now, this might seem almost too simple, but its power is in its intentionality. The next time you switch from, say, a spreadsheet to writing a proposal, you mentally, or even better, say it out loud, I am stopping my analysis of the Q3 data, and I am only focusing on drafting the new proposal. This is a command to your brain. The first part is the disengagement order. The second part is the engagement order. It creates a clean, hard cognitive boundary. Step 2, the 2-minute cognitive offload. This is the absolute heart of the protocol. Set a timer for just 2 minutes. If task A is incomplete, grab a notebook and just brain dump every lingering thought or idea related to it. Then, and this is the most critical part, you have to define the single, concrete, physical next action required to restart it later. Not a vague goal like finish report, but something specific like email Sarah for the final sales figures. This gets the load out of your head and satisfies that Zeigarnik effect. Step 3, the 5-minute high-friction launch. Immediately after the offload, you attack the new task. Set another timer, this time for just 5 minutes, and commit to intense single-task focus. The key here is what I call a digital quarantine. Close every other tab. Put your phone out of reach, face down. For these 5 minutes, the only thing that exists in the universe is task B. This short sprint isn't about finishing the task. It's about breaking the inertia and generating some serious momentum.
So as we bring this all together, I want you to consider a fundamental shift in how you think about focus itself. We're taught to believe focus is a state we have to muscle our way into, a resource we have to go find. But what if that's completely backward? What if focus isn't something you force, but something that emerges naturally, even effortlessly, when you create the right conditions for it?
This is the single most important lesson from this entire explainer. Focus is a function of clean transition. Just let that sink in for a second.
The biggest barrier to deep work isn't the notification you see on your screen, it's the invisible cognitive baggage you carry from one task to the next. If you master the art of the clean transition, you master the art of focus. It really is that simple.
So let's do a quick recap on this masterclass. The Attention Residue Protocol solves that core problem of mental drag and cognitive load after you switch tasks. And why this matters is that it gives you a systematic way to clear your working memory and accelerate your entry into deep focus. The Cognitive Offload and High-Friction Launch Framework is the engine here. It directly neutralizes the Zeigarnik Effect to free up your mind, and over time, it strengthens your brain's inhibitory control, making you fundamentally better at tuning out distractions.
And that leads us to this final point. Productivity isn't about doing more, it's about mastering systems that make focus effortless. Stop letting your mental leftovers sabotage your most important work. Start building the habit of structurally closing your cognitive loops. Your challenge is this. After your very next task switch today, commit to the 2-minute cognitive offload. Just try it once. Experience for yourself what it feels like to enter your next task with a completely clear mind. That is how you regain control.